Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So, when I hear people speaking about Michael Jackson, usually it doesn't really interest me, and it doesn't like grab me, you know? Because I know that they don't know that Michael Jackson was actually the love child of Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson, and that he was given to the Jackson family. So I know that they don't have that piece of information, and without that piece of information, all of their conclusions are going to generally be flawed in certain ways, okay? So this is a guy named Bobby Fischer. Now, I don't know exactly his story, but from my basic understanding is he was young. I don't remember what age it was, but it's some young age. I mean, younger than 18, I believe. I believe he was young. When he was young, he became like a world chess champion, which means he like beat the Russians, and you know, so he's like admired as one of these like great minds of the world, you know, is this Bobby Fischer, you know? And then I believe he won, and then he like kind of just left. He didn't continue on. He became like a recluse, you know? So there's always like a mystery around Bobby Fischer, you know? So that's who this guy is. This is Bobby Fischer. So I know Bobby Fischer is very highly respected as a cerebral type of individual and shit, right? So I saw this clip, and at the end of the clip, it's going to show the logo from the person's page who I got this from, just so I don't have to mention it to you, just so you know when you see it at the end, because I will play it all the way through. And so when you see it, it's Chess Negro, it's a chess guy. But so when you see that, that's the guy's page that downloaded this video. That's where I'm using this from and stuff, okay? So I'm going to go in, I'm going to play you what he says, and then I'm going to show you the corresponding things about what he's talking about. I'm going to show you some of that stuff too, okay? So let's go ahead and get into this.
They don't want people to get the picture. Yeah. So they shut up talking about don't Jew me. You understand? Yep. In other words, they don't say Michael Jackson is a very bad person and he should be convicted of this child molestation because he said don't Jew me in a song. They're too smart now. Before they made a big story out of it, but now they're at a different stage. Now they're really going after him, and they don't want people to get the picture, to see the real motivation.
So, like, it's like, whoa. So when he said that, it's like, whoa, damn. It's like, whoa, wait, whoa, what did he just say, you know? So what he's talking about is... He didn't fit to get... There's my, you know, the people that know me, I would think they kind of think it's probably funny when you hear my dad mumbling in my videos and stuff. It's just part of what my videos are and stuff, you know, so I'm not going to get into explaining all what's going on. Okay, so the Bobby Fischer, what he's saying is that when Michael Jackson made this song, They Don't Care About Us, he's saying that when Michael Jackson wrote these words, it was like... It was like Michael Jackson starting a war, because the people of the Jew me line there. See, this is the thing too. It's like when it's how serious things are, and like when you're in YouTube and stuff, it's like, I know this is serious. You can't talk about them, and it's like. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit, you know, but it's like, shoot, if this video gets taken down just because if I said the words, and it's like, I'm not even saying anything derogatory. I'm just trying to have a basic discussion, right? But YouTube is really strict about this stuff, and this is one that they take very seriously, and I've had videos removed just for having conversations like this. Boom, they remove my video and give me a strike. So, you know, things like that happen. So the line here where it says, Jew me, sue me, everybody do me. Okay, so the Jew me part would be like in society, if I was telling a friend, if I was to say to a friend, if I said, oh, don't Jew me, that's like shorten me. It's like he's supposed to give me $1, but then somehow he smooth talks me and he only gives me 50 cents, you know? And then you would say, oh, you're Jewing me, right? That's like the slang term of, it's a derogatory term of that somebody is shorting you. And what they're saying is in the Jewish community, the business community, that they commonly use this practice in order to steal money from people. You know, they short them. They constantly are shorting them, so which is actually a form of stealing money from people and stuff, right? So that's what he's saying. So Bobby Fischer said that when Michael put that in the song, he called on trouble that he should not have done, is what he was saying, is like, and so that's what he was saying, that these pedophile allegations arose a part of what it arose from is this, and that's why he was saying at first he was saying that the people that were coming after him, which was being caused because of like Jewish influence, is what he was saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like, boy, explaining this, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get a strike for this, and it's like I'm not even saying anything, right? But hopefully I will. Hopefully I won't, you know. But it's one of those things that if this video gets taken down, it's like that. But see, that's what happens when you're trying to tell the truth and stuff. It's just sometimes you just gotta say, screw it. I have to take my chance, you know. So Bobby Fischer was saying that when Michael put that word in the song like that, in the derogatory fashion that he did, he was saying that the first pedophile allegations, or at first they said that they started off slowly with it, their attack on him as being the pedophile, and to downgrade him and belittle him and take away who he is in the public and stuff. But he was saying that, like, when he went to court and stuff, he's saying, the Bobby Fischer is saying, they let it pass because they didn't want the people to totally know that it was them doing it. They became more sneakily and more clever in their attack against him, and then that's why he said he gave it time and stuff, and they let it build up. So actually, what he's saying is that in his way of saying it, it's kind of like leading to that the Martin Bashir interview. It's kind of leading to that would be backed by Jewish money, and that the actual purpose for that interview would be to set up the attack on Michael Jackson. It was to go and get film footage and to to get Michael to let his guard down, and then to set it up where he does an interview with the kid and stuff, and then they ask him the questions that they know Michael's he's gonna stand there and say, no, I'm not doing it, and he's gonna be honest and stuff, but they know that they're gonna be able to manipulate that conversation for later uses, which means they're gonna be able to bring an attack upon him and call him a pedophile and have him arrested and send him, stuff like that. So it's like, that's kind of like what he's saying and shit, right? And then it says, now this is the thing too, if people have seen my videos, I'm always saying that Michael Jackson's fans are stealing from Michael Jackson, right? So, because when he's saying everybody do me, and this is what I'm saying to the fans, it's like that line right there, what Michael's saying is that everybody was stealing from me, everybody in every way. And that's what I tell you, is that these people that are in YouTube who use Michael Jackson's name to gain clout for themselves, to become YouTubers, because I do an investigation. I'm here trying to have actual discussions because of the investigation I'm doing, and my page is not monetized. I don't ask for people to like me and stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm actually doing an investigation, so there's no basis for anybody to say that I'm doing that. I'm not doing that whatsoever. And if somebody can prove me wrong, like really prove me wrong, I'll stand up. But to me, it's like I'm to the point where it's got to be Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. I'm going to need that kind of level of a person, because I've done such a thorough investigation and I have such serious evidence and proof to back up the things what I'm saying. It's like I'm going to have to have it from Diana Ross or Smokey Robinson. I'm going to have to be able to interrogate them, and if they then can prove to me, with serious evidence and with a quality conversation, if they could prove to me that I'm wrong, then if they could prove it, then I'd say, hey, they proved it. I was wrong. That I've just somehow that's how things happen in life, is that you can see into things that aren't there and shit, right? Which I think it's impossible, because I think I'm so right and shit, right? But I am alive and I am a human, and I understand that mistakes can get made and you can see things that aren't there and stuff. I do understand it is possible, So it's one of those things, until it's 100% proven out in the public, I have to understand that I could be wrong, even though I don't think I'm wrong at all. I'm willing to stand up to anybody, it's like, and this, I have the evidence to back it up, and I know what I'm talking about. So I'm willing to go up to, I'll go after anybody, and I'll put it all on the line. I think I'm right. But it's like, but if I lost, it's like one of those things, if you step in the ring, you think you're the best fighter in the world, and then if next thing you know you're waking up because you got knocked out, you got to understand, I got knocked out. I lost, and so you have to deal with that reality and shit. It's like, okay, well, I'm willing to step up to Alien Challenge, and if they knock me out, then they knock me out, and I'll accept it after I've been knocked out. But at this point, no, I think I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet and shit. I think I've got the most thorough quality investigation that's ever been done on Michael Jackson, and I have the real story, so that's the way I am that way. I'm that person and shit, right? So I don't mind saying it at all either. I don't mind proclaiming that to anybody, because what I'm actually doing it's like when Mr. T was going after Rocky and he was hungry and he's saying, I don't care, I'm the best. I'm the best. I know I'm a whoop your fucking ass. I don't care who you think you are, man. I'm fucking Clubber Lane. I'm coming to get you and shit, right? So I want that challenge. I want to be tested and shit, right? That's who I think I am in the Michael Jackson world and shit, right? So where everybody do me, that's what I'm saying. And I name the people because I don't mind naming the people. It's like Pearl Jr., Thon Lexi, MJ Fangirl, Michael Trapson, Krista MJ. There was River Gibbs, but he did the stuff, you know. I'll even name a person that's not 18 years old, History in the Mix, you know, because I wanted to make sure I put some white people so you didn't think I was just solely attacking black people, because there are white people out there too. But then there's all these people that do the reaction videos, right? And so all of them, I don't even know their names. I don't watch their videos and shit, right? But it's like, if you go down the Michael Jackson page, there's going to be probably 20 people that are doing Michael Jackson reaction videos, you know? And so, I mean, there's that German in Venice, Hector Barjot, like, so I'm saying all of these people, all of them, okay? All of them, it's like when he says right there, everybody do me, okay, they're all doing it to Michael Jackson. They're all stealing from Michael Jackson's legacy, and not one of them has enough respect for Michael Jackson to at least look at the investigation of what I'm doing, because they don't care. They're all fake. All of them. They're all stealing from him. And Michael Jackson, when he's saying this line, everybody do me, he's talking about them fans too. Those thieving, and that's why I call them thieving scumbag losers that they steal from Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson in reality was telling them right to their face, even you. You know, even you, my fans who are saying you love me, even you, everybody's doing me. You know, that's exactly what he's saying. But so when he says the next line, kick me, kike me, don't you black or white me. But so the kike me, that's like the N-word, okay? To call a Jewish person to use that name. And so that's what it's like when he said this, the Jew me, sue me, everybody do me, kick me, kike me, don't you black. He used like the two most derogatory terms that you could use to the Jewish community. To say Jew me, he's like using that term, you know, saying that that's the term that you would use for in the business world, and when people want to steal from you, and that's the derogatory term that you would use, okay? And then if you want to like call somebody like you would usually you call like the N-word, right? That would be like, we know that is the very derogatory word, okay? Well, if you're in the Jewish community, you would call him a kike, okay? But so he said kike me and shit, right? So it's a freaking, those are some derogatory words towards the Jewish community and inflammatory words and shit, right? And so Bobby Fischer was saying that because Michael Jackson did this, and this song is one of those things too, how people talk about Michael Jackson being shy and innocent. It's like, listen to this song. This song is so aggressive and powerful. It's like, Michael Jackson is not that innocent, you know, shy person. For him to make this song, it was a freaking full-on attack, aggressive. This song is so aggressive, you know. You got to be strong to be able to make this, first to be able to write this kind of stuff, but then to actually put it out. And you know, this song is just, it's an incredible song, you know. So, but that's what Bobby Fischer first of all is talking about here in this song, that these when he used these derogatory statements towards that specific that gender, that race of people, he said that he brought upon himself a serious battle, which ended with him being charged as a pedophile and being arrested for that, you know. So that's basically what he was saying about this part, okay? So we're going to go a little bit more back to this here.
You know? And then I explained about all the plastic surgery. I explained how he is not guilty for this because he's mentally and emotionally ill. The doctors had no right to do this to him.
Okay, so when he's saying he's mentally and emotionally ill, like I said, he doesn't know my story. Like I said, he doesn't have that piece of the puzzle of understanding that Michael Jackson was actually an orphan child, that he was abandoned as a child, given to the Jackson family, where he was taken advantage of by Joseph Jackson, who physically and emotionally abused him. That's what he says, is that he can see that Michael Jackson has a mental and physical, there's abuse, there's some damage to him, right? But he thinks it's because of the upbringing through the Jackson family. He doesn't know exactly, but if this Bobby Fischer actually knew the truth that Michael Jackson was given to that family, and then that Diana Ross came back when Michael was 10 years old, and she told him that she was his real mother, and then she embraced him, but then she put him back into the Jackson family, and he had to live out his life being an actual Jackson, that he had to live with that burden and keep that secret. Then Bobby Fischer would have a much better understanding of where the actual damage to Michael Jackson actually came from, okay? But so the other part of what he's talking about, the surgeries, is doctors have a code of ethics, and if somebody has mental problems and stuff, and they're wanting to, and if it's because of the mental problems, that they want to do plastic surgeries and stuff, the doctors have ethical responsibilities to say, no, I'm not going to do that to you because you're not mentally equipped to be able to properly make these decisions. And that's what he's talking about here, how the doctors would take advantage of Michael Jackson.
The doctors had no right to do this to him, even if he wanted it, because he's mentally and emotionally ill. If you come to me and say, Bobby, push me out the window, I'll give you $1,000, I'm not going to do it. I'll try to tell you to get some help, you know?
Yeah.
That's what they had to tell Michael Jackson.
Right.
But there was a stinking American movie about the Gulf War I with George Clooney. And then one of the soldiers makes a speech in there condemning Michael Jackson for the surgery. He did it to himself.
Okay, so that movie that he was talking about, so there's a stinking American movie with George Clooney. So that's why I like people that are intelligent. They speak certain ways, and I like people like being aggressive. Like when people say to me, if they talk to me saying I'm too aggressive and stuff, and it's like, well, I don't know. I like people to be aggressive. There's a truth and an honesty to it, and that's what I like. So here, so the movie he was talking about is Three Kings, and here I'll play you the clip that he was mentioning there.
My man, tell me something, okay? What is the problem with Michael Jackson?
What do you mean?
What is the problem with Michael Jackson? What is the problem with Michael Jackson? You understand my question?
No, I'm not sure I do.
The king of pop. Woohoo! Hee.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
He come to Egypt, I see picture in newspaper. Hello, with the white glove, I'm Michael Jackson in my hotel room with my shop up face. Your country making shop up his face.
I don't think so.
Michael Jackson is pop king of sick fucking country.
That's bullshit. He did it to himself.
Okay, so that's what Bobby Fischer was talking about, that scene there in the movie. And, you know, how he's saying he did it to himself, and Bobby Fischer is saying, no, even if he did do it to himself, the doctors have an ethical responsibility not to allow him to do that to himself. But that's what because then he gave the example. He says, if I give you $1,000 and tell me to push me out the window, you're not going to do it. You know, there's an ethical responsibility that people need to have. But he's saying that these doctors that took advantage of Michael Jackson, that they didn't use their ethical responsibility, that they just took advantage of him. They knew that he was not mentally and he wasn't mentally stable to be able to go through that process, and they just kept doing it to him and stuff, right? Which led to more surgeries and more surgeries. And so that's what he's talking about there, that stupid movie where they're trying to say Michael Jackson did it to himself, and he's saying no, he didn't, because the doctors have an ethical responsibility not to allow him to do that to themselves, because they should have been able to see that there was something wrong with him for doing that shit, right? And thinking about like on an artist terms, it's like, okay, you look at like when he did his first surgery, like when he first from like Off the Wall, I don't think he had his nose surgery at Off the Wall compared to what he looked like on the Thriller album and shit, right? And so when you see him on Thriller, and see, like, I actually lived through that period, it's one of the things. So like on Thriller, he was like, he looked perfect, okay, got a nose job, he looked so good, right? And he was at the top of his game, he's at the top of the world, everybody loved him. But then when Bad came out, and it's like his nose looked a little thinner, and he's looking white, you know? And so, like, when you actually were a fan and you lived through that, it was like, what the hell's what's going on here and shit, right? What's this about and shit, right? So, you know, we see, I'm sure Bobby Fischer would know about the vitiligo, but it's just a weird thing how he turned himself white like that because the vitiligo, that's a tricky discussion. It's like going white and stuff, that's one thing, but then what he went with the nose surgery, he got way out of control with his nose, and the nose, like the Dr. Klein and shit, who is Dr. Klein was a, see, things that a lot of people don't know a lot about the Dr. Klein, that Dr. Klein is like at the top of his game as being a dermatologist, a skin doctor and shit, right? And so I think Dr. Klein is the father of Prince Jackson, and I think that one of the reasons that Michael Jackson, see, now Dr. Klein's a skin doctor. Maybe Dr. Klein had vitiligo. This is not something I've been able to ever confirm and shit, right? But Dr. Klein was a dermatologist, he's like one of the world-renowned dermatologists. Dr. Klein actually invented the use for Botox, the way people stick Botox. I don't think he invented Botox, right? But I think he invented the use for it, and that's what he's accredited for. So the people that use Botox on their skin to get rid of wrinkles and stuff, okay, Dr. Klein is the one who actually invented that, okay? He's, like I said, he's a world-renowned dermatologist, skin doctor. And so when he went into the field of dermatology, I think that it makes for, it's definitely worth the investigation to look into it, is that did he have vitiligo? And that's one of the things, is because people say that Prince has vitiligo, and it's like, well, I say Arnold Klein is Prince's father. And maybe Prince does have vitiligo, but he could have got that from Dr. Klein. And Michael Jackson, being such good friends with Dr. Klein, he might have became such a good friends with him because that could have been a common thing that they had together, the vitiligo, and that could have been the common thing that gave them such a tight bond. Because Dr. Klein, it's Debbie Rowe was working for Dr. Klein. Okay, so that's where then Michael gives Debbie Rowe the chance to become the mother of his children. You know, the Dr. Klein was a big thing. Like, I heard Dr. Klein say that he was helping to rebuild Michael Jackson's nose. There was things with like Demerol. Dr. Klein says he was trying to wean Michael Jackson off of being hooked on Demerol and shit, you know, so he was trying to work with him with his drug addiction. So Dr. Klein has a really big part to play in Michael Jackson's story, a big part. And it could even be such a big part that he's actually the father of Prince, you know. It could be, and it could be that the vitiligo, if Prince has it, it could be that it comes from Dr. Klein's side of the family, because that could be the common thing that made Michael Jackson and Dr. Klein such good friends. I mean, there's more to it. There's like there's like the AIDS Foundation that Elizabeth Taylor was like a big part of, and Dr. Klein, I think, was like, he was like a president on the board of that foundation too. There's like stuff like that that's like, they're really connected. There's like a lot more there when you look into the Dr. Klein story. There's a lot there. It'd be like a whole videos and research that you'd have to do about that situation. But if Dr. Klein actually had vitiligo, like I said, with Michael having vitiligo, that could be the one thing that really, really brought them together, which allowed all of these other things to occur through the Dr. Klein, you know, the friendship and the relationship.
Yes, Gulf War One. I don't know the name of the movie, but it was about Gulf War One, starring George Clooney. So, you know, this is a very sad case, Michael Jackson. Yeah. Because I think he's a very nice person.
Yeah, so you know, he says so his conclusion of Michael Jackson was that he was a very nice person, but you could tell that he had these influences in his life that led him to having physical and mental problems, which he's saying that the doctor shouldn't have done those surgeries, that he went too far. Like I said, I don't think anybody would complain that when Michael Jackson has first surgery, like in how he looked on Thriller, he looked so good. Like you can see the picture here up at the top. He looks great. He looks great up there. I know he's got the Beat It picture right there, right? But when you look to, like, I always think back to the photo that they used of Michael Jackson at his memorial, when he had that really thin, small, pointy nose, you know? And it's like, that he went so far with it. And Dr. Klein, actually, when you hear the Dr. Klein talking, Dr. Klein said that Michael Jackson's nose was like collapsing, and he was putting in like airbags kind of things. He was putting like airbags in there to blow him up and keep it supported. There was some major shit going on there. It was really bad. And so that's what Bobby Fischer is saying, that Michael Jackson obviously had too much surgeries. You know, it went too far. Now, like the skin whitening thing, that's a thing. It's like with the vitiligo, and that he ended up going all the way. It's like one of the things that's like, okay, if it wasn't for the surgeries, this is like part of the discussions of Michael Jackson. Okay, if he didn't have any of the surgeries, what would we think about him turning himself white? Would it be just totally accepted because we know he had vitiligo? And would that be just a thing that we accept and say, okay, well, he did that because of the vitiligo? But the problem is that he's also, there's a couple problems. He's also got these problems with his nose and the surgeries, but then he's also got this drug problems that are going on too. And like, those are the known things about Michael Jackson. And so that there's the other part that nobody knows about, is that my story, the big piece of the puzzle that nobody knows about, is that Michael Jackson was not part of the Jackson family. And that's the thing that needs to be interjected into this conversation, so we can come to the true conclusion of who Michael Jackson was, and we can actually understand the processes of all the development of the things that he had to go through and stuff. Because right now, the part, my story is not involved in the major discussion that takes place around Michael Jackson, him being abandoned as a child and not actually being a Jackson. That's not in the popular, the zeitgeist of the day, you know, the popular terms and the references of how people are looking at this. It's not part of pop culture right now that Michael's not a Jackson. But it's true, and it's just a matter of time before somebody that's serious actually looks at my work and and it clicks into them. And it's just a matter of time. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but it's just a matter of time that it will happen. It's one of these things that I know how the world works, and you know, I could be dead, and it's one of those things that, see, this is the parts about it too, is like, if I die, then you don't get to hear my proper interpretations of all of my research that I've done, because I've done the research, right? And my interpretations of this story are quality, right? And so the other people, the main people, it's Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson, because there's other people like Barry Gordy's story, part of it. Catherine Jackson, she's old, so I'm not going to put too much weight on her story. And then the rest of the kids, I don't know exactly how their stories would be told. I don't trust their stories, so I don't really trust them. The people that are the important people are Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson, are the two most important people that we need to hear their stories to get the proper storytelling and get the better understanding of Michael Jackson. And then after them, I think it's me, that I'm the most important person. But if we could all just die away, and if we all just die away, and then if all you have is my work that's left behind, and then you're going to have all these other people trying to interpret my work that's been done, and, you know, it's like one of those things, and it's like, if Diana Ross passes away, then you're just going to have, it's like me. It's like, I'm telling you, I can give you interpretations, but it's not good. It's not as quality as what it would be with hearing it from her. Same with Smokey Robinson. I can tell you interpretations of his life and conclusions of what he did and stuff, but I know it's not anywhere near as good as what it would be like hearing it from him and stuff, right? And so it's one of the things that's like, where I try and get, that's why I went after everybody that I could, and I get so mad at the people that are in the Michael Jackson community, and why I actually have come to the conclusion where I understand that they're all just stealing from Michael Jackson, because like the fact that I'm actually explaining the songs, you know, like I've explained Beat It, you know, I've explained Billie Jean, I've explained Wanna Be Starting Something, I've explained Dirty Diana, you know, I've explained more, you know, for I've done more than that too. But I'm actually explaining the song. So it's like, how can you people claim to be Michael Jackson fans and not actually care what the songs are about, you know? And it's all of them. All of it. Doesn't matter who it is. If it's Michael Trapson or if it's Hector Barjot or MJ Fangirl, it doesn't matter, you know? Fucking Pearl Jr., it does not matter which one of them I've tried with all of them. And not one of them have ever come back. They've never. Not one of them have ever come back and said, hey, I watched your video, that was interesting, or gave me an opinion. Never. It never happened, not even one time. How is that possible? How can they, if they were fans, they would have had to have at least watched my work and given me one comment, let me know, hey, I did watch that, and this is my, but it never happened. Not one of them, not one of them ever put a comment on any of my Michael Jackson videos. None of them. It never freaking happened. Isn't that just crazy? And that's what I'm telling you. It's like, oh, they're thieves. They're fake Michael Jackson fans, like to the fullest extent. And not worse than fake, they're actually stealing from Michael Jackson, where he says, everybody do me. That's what Michael Jackson even was telling you himself, that these fans are fake and they're stealing from his image to bring up their own life, you know, and make it for their own glory. They're stealing his, you know, legacy and shit for themselves. Everybody do me. That's what he's saying too. The fans, that's what they do to me. And from my experience in here, I can tell you exactly that's what happens. They're all just stealing from Michael Jackson. It is horrible. It is, and then that's what when the people say to me, let Michael Jackson rest in peace, and it's like, there's no resting in peace until the truth comes out. And until people understand, it's like there's only the three most important people now to tell the truth of Michael Jackson's story is Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, and then me. They're the two most important ones. Diana Ross, but I'm more important than Berry Gordy. Berry Gordy's important. He would be number 4. Berry Gordy would be number 4. The two, so it's Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, and American Scheme, and then Berry Gordy. That's what I would say that the labeling of those are the 4 most important people out there. If you want to hear Michael Jackson's true story and understand the truth so Michael can finally rest in peace, those are the 4 people that have got the stories that need to be heard. You know, but those people are hard, and it's hard to get them to talk, but I'm here. I'm here and I'm willing to talk and stuff, and all I need is for people to investigate my work. I'm not saying believe my work whatsoever. I'm saying investigate it. You people have watched the stupidest videos about Michael Jackson. You will watch the craziest, stupidest things, all the stuff. But for some reason, none of those people ever, never, none of those people that are in the Michael Jackson community people, never. They never come and look at my work and talk and have any conversation with me. They don't do it. They won't do it. And that's one of the things where I've just been like, really? I didn't know I was going to have to deal with that, you know? It's like I had no idea when I started this that I was going to have, that was going to be the relationship that I was going to have with Michael Jackson's so-called fans, that I was going to be shunned and outcast and put down. And constantly when you see my videos, you're going to see more dislikes than likes on my videos. That's basically what happens, because I actually there's people out there that attack me. You know, there's people that hate me. They don't care what my videos, they just come and put a thumbs down on it. That constantly happens, you know? It's crazy, you know? It's really, really crazy. So, all right, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.